girls. Eyes on me. Make sure that you are keeping your pencils and your notes down. We're not playing with our pencils until it's time to write. So they can be put on your board, on the floor in front of you, or if you can hold them with some self-control, that would be awesome. All right, we are going to do day 2 of our lesson on so many penguins today, and we're going to finish this up. So yesterday, we read the first 2 small chapters in the book, and we were talking about the main idea and the key details that support the main idea. I would like for you to turn to your partner when I tell you, and we're just going to take our minds back to yesterday and think about some things that the author told us about the main idea. So the first thing I want you to talk to your partner about is what you remember the main idea being. And if you're not sure, remember to look on the anchor chart. And number 2 is that you're going to give your partner one detail that supports that main idea. So you got to remember 2 things from yesterday. What was the author's main idea? And you're going to tell them one detail to support that. Khalees, you can buddy up with the 3 of you right here in that row. Since Keon is absent, you guys can be a group, okay? All right? So, main idea, one detail. You may turn and talk.
I go first.
Okay, friends, quiet. You just determine who goes first. It's okay, though. You're both going to get your turn to talk. Go ahead.
All right. I got talk. Don't put the right on. There means
One thing. Okay, now it's your turn. You went to? Oh, you just
Oh, they got web.
Okay, 1, 2, 3 eyes on me.
1, 2, eyes on me.
Thank you to my front row. They turned right around. Got a bubble back in their mouth. Carlos, we're not writing anything on there, Carlos. Sit up. We're not adding anything to our notes. Not yet. All right. The first thing I want you to share out with me is to remind us what the main idea of so many penguins was. What was the main idea? Nice quiet hands. Thank you, Donovan.
That penguins are unusual birds.
Penguins are unusual birds. So the author is saying penguins are unusual birds, and then we learn some really cool details about why penguins are unusual. So we're going to popcorn just a few, and then we're going to get back into the book. Destiny, 1. Penguins cannot fly. That makes them a very unusual bird. Okay, something that we learned yesterday. What were you writing on your notes from yesterday? Okay, penguins are different colors. Okay. Yesterday's things that we learned yesterday, we've had some of them up here, and you have one that you wrote on your notes. You have one you wrote on your notes. Okay, they live in the very cold ocean. That's very unusual for a bird. Okay, they have webbed feet. What do they use them for? They use them for swimming, Marnie. Yeah, they have these short little stumpy legs. They have these tiny little legs and these little tiny feet, and then they got these big giant bodies. Okay, those are a few things. You may put your hands down. You're going to have plenty of time to talk. Hands down. Thank you. All right, we're going to go into what do penguins eat. I need your eyes on me. Your pencils are down. You are going to have time to take your notes, but now is not the time. Thank you to my back row. Your eyes are on me. I have Nathaniel's eyes. I have Police's eyes. I have Zyrie's eyes. Thank you. All right. What do penguins eat? Now remember, we're looking for details that support the main idea. So if it doesn't make penguins unusual, then it's not really what we're looking for. We're looking only for the details that make penguins unusual. Chapter 2, what do penguins eat? Swimming in the cold ocean water is hard work. Penguins need a lot of food to survive. They catch their food by diving under the water. Penguins eat fish, fish, squid, and crabs. They also eat krill. These are tiny little shrimp that float on the water. And we have a caption here that says, krill are fish that look like shrimp. And over here it says penguins can dive deeper than any other bird. Penguins can dive deeper than any other bird. So, how do the penguins survive? How do the penguins survive? Brian.
By eating shrimp, crab, and fish.
Okay, so they eat all those things, fish, squid, and crabs. And how does this picture show you that penguins need to survive? What is this picture showing you that they do in order to survive? Hector. That they're diving into the water, and the caption said that they dive deeper than any other bird. So that could be something that we jot on our notes and that we can add to our chart. So I'm going to add that to the chart. If you'd like that to be your second detail, then you can add that as well. Yes, Marnay? Okay. Well, when you think about it, you raise your hand.
Penguins can dive deeper than any other bird.
And that's what we just spoke of. We said that they are diving deep in the water because that is how they catch their food. I'm going to add that to the chart. If you would like to add that to your other details, you may, or maybe you want to wait, and when you hear something else that you like, you can add it. But I will add it here.
What did you say?
I'm going to write it, Marnay.
In the second box?
Yes, in your second box.
Okay, write it in our second box.
Yep. If you would like to, because you're going to use these notes to write your piece later. I'll give you a second to write that.
I'm done. How do you spell penguins? The what?
Devonay, everything is right here, baby. Everything's up here.
I spell other.
Carlos, are you adding or are you waiting for something else? You don't have to write this one. You can wait for, if you hear something later on that you want to write, it's fine. I'm giving you another minute or so to get that jotted down. Seconds. Vivian, sit up, please. You're not being safe with the board. Thank you.
What, we got minutes?
I was giving you a minute or two to write that down. You wrote it? Thank you. Your eyes are on me and you are ready to go. All right. Eyes on me. Sit back up. If you were down. All right, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Chikivian. Thank you, Samaria. All right, so you can use that note when we go to write our informational piece about penguins. You can use, yep, you're going to use these notes to help you. Plus, we have all the notes on the anchor chart and what you have up in your head too. All right, this chapter is called How Do Penguins Care for Their Babies? Every year, penguins gather on land in groups called colonies. And remember, colonies were groups of different animals. They will make their nests and raise their babies. Some penguins use small stones to make a nest. Many penguins dig a hole in the ground. Some dig a hole under a rock or a bush. They fill the hole with grass to make a nest. What details did you hear on these 2 pages that support the main idea of penguins are unusual birds? Actually, let's go ahead and turn and talk with your partner about that instead of calling out. Turn to your partner. You're going to talk to your partner about a detail on that page that supports the main idea.
Miss Stoffer.
Thank you. I love how Hector and Brian are turning and talking. They're both going to be awarded a point on Dojo. Destiny, it's your turn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
1, 2, eyes on you.
So let's move on. Raise your hand and tell me what your partner has said about a detail on this page to support the main idea. Nathaniel. Yes, his partner was Samaria. Thank you, Nathaniel. Continue. All right, so Samari said that penguins make their nest out of stones. Is that unusual, Nathaniel? That is very unusual. You do not hear of birds making a nest out of stones. Thank you so much. You guys did a great job turning and talking. Cameron. Dig a hole, and then what do they do with it? Okay, so they dig the hole and they fill it with something.
Grass.
They fill it with grass. Thank you for helping him out. So those are some unusual details. If you like those, you may add them to your chart. I'm going to add them to my chart. Okay, in your if you want to do it in your third box, that's fine, or if you want to wait. So you may add this detail to your box, or you may wait.
I may wait.
That they make their nests out of stones.
They can't hit. They make their nests out of stones.
Sure, what do you need to tell me? Yes, that is true. We talked about that yesterday.
Stoffer, did you hear about flying fish? Yo, yeah, that's quite no, it's really something that's fish.
Okay, but we're talking about penguins today. Let's focus on the task, please. Thank you. Focus on the task. Thank you, Donovan, for writing. It's okay. You can just write underneath that. You're just using these notes to help you write your piece when we go back to our seat. That's all. Just so you have some thoughts in your head for when you go back to write. Is this about penguins? Nope, not right now. Thank you, Zamaya. Nice job. It's okay. You don't have an eraser. Fine.
If you mine.
That's okay. I'll find him one. Thank you.
You can use mine.
I'll find him one so that you guys can continue on your work. Here, Jeremiah.
It's Stoffer. It looks like we have
We probably do only have room for one more.
school almost over. Stoffer, you should have. We got 3 weeks.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me.
1, 2, eyes on you.
All right. If you're finished writing, that is fabulous. If not, we're going to move on. You can either continue to add that as we're reading the next page, but you also need to be listening to these details. Okay, eyes on the book. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Felice. I'm waiting for my first row. I'm waiting for my first row. I'm waiting for my first row. 2 kinds of penguins do not make a nest at all. These penguins hold their eggs on tops of their feet. This is how they keep the egg warm until it opens. The caption says, this king penguin looks at its eggs as it keeps the egg warm. The baby penguin chick does not look like its mom or dad. It is smaller and its feathers are different. But soon it will look like its parents.
That's what I said.
I know, keep your pencil down. This emperor penguin chick has soft gray feathers. So what details on this page do you hear that support the main idea of penguins are unusual birds? Hector.
That when the baby penguins grow up, it's gonna look like
Okay, but is that an unusual fact about penguins?
yes.
How is that unusual?
No.
Does that make it different than other birds?
No.
Not really, because when they grow up, they generally look like their parents, don't they? Does anyone have an unusual thing that you heard, an unusual detail? Cameron? That they hold their eggs on their feet. Is that unusual?
Yes.
That is very unusual and quite strange.
That's similar.
And does anybody know who holds the penguins? Or who holds them?
The dad.
Shh, hands up. Anybody know who holds the eggs? It's very strange.
The daddy.
The dad! That's not usually how it works, huh?
Because the mom has the baby. Because the hold the egg. But they.
Okay, but the dad holds the egg, and then do you know where the mom is going? Does anybody know that? Where's the mom when that's happening? I like your thinking she's going to find food. So what do you think the dad's job is there?
Watch the baby.
And he becomes the what?
King.
What is the dad doing?
King of the high coat.
He's what?
Protect.
He's protecting the baby. I like your thinking. He's the protector. I'm going to go ahead and add that because I love that. That's one of my favorites.
Why don't you use I love green. There's Stoffer. I'm just listening.
If you still have an empty box, you may add. If you don't have an empty box, that's okay.
I just wrote it right here. Stoffer. All I did was just write it right here.
Okay, while I'm writing, you should be looking or adding to your chart. The penguins hold the egg on top of their feet. All right, I need everybody on their bottom. I got some people who are not sitting safely. Thank you. You look awesome. Not right now. Debonair and Jakevion, can you sit up? We got one more page to discuss. Two more. Thank you. All right, everybody's eyes on me. Look at me. 1, 2, 3.
I know you.
Okay, I'm still waiting for lots of people in the back. Thank you. Penguin chicks need their moms and dads to help them survive. A chick calls to its parents when it is hungry. Then the parents bring it something to eat. And the caption states, this adult penguin is feeding its chick. Tell me how this picture shows you how adult penguins feed their baby. Tell me how this illustration shows you that. Who have we not heard from for a little while? Let's see. Jeremiah, how does it show that? Okay, and how does she feed them?
With her mouth.
You think it's funny? It's a little gross. Please, how does she feed them?
That's how my mama feeds No.
Friends, you need to be listening to the speaker.
She drops it in their mouth.
Yeah, she eats the food, or she gets the food in her mouth and then drops it in the baby's mouth.
No, that's not how she do it.
Now, is that something unusual about birds?
No.
Okay, raise your hand and tell me why that is not an unusual detail about birds. Jakevion.
Because, birds do that.
All the other birds feed their babies like that too. So that does not make that an unusual detail about penguins. Yes.
How can a bird just fly up there and put the food on in their feet and they drop it in their baby's mouth?
Maybe they do it that way too, but
It's
usually
nasty.
they're chewing it up. Well, they need to eat too, and that's how they do it. Okay?
They chew it up for them and then just spit it out.
Right. They need them to be fed. Soon the chicks are big. Then they can go out into the sea. Look how the sea sparkles. The penguins will stay at sea until it is time to make their nests. Then they will go back to the land where they were born.
We gotta write this down.
Now, that is the end of the book. This is what your task is. Put your papers down, please. Here is your task. Please, I need you looking at me and listening. I'm going to take the anchor chart and I'll put it up front on the board. You also have your notes. Your performance task is that you are going to return to your seat. You are going to find a new, clean page out of your Lux journal, the one that we use for reading responses. You're not being safe. And you are going to write an explanatory piece using these key details to explain how are penguins unusual birds. And before we go back and do that, let's talk about what our starting sentence or our opening sentence should look like or sound like on our paragraph. If we are writing our opening sentence and somebody picks up our book and reads it, we want them to know what we're talking about. So what should our opening sentence, or what could it read? What could our opening sentence read?
Penguins are unusual birds because
Okay, so stop, you're good. Penguins are unusual birds because. What else could you say? What else could you write as your opening sentence? Okay, so you have a few ideas, but you need to make sure that your opening sentence is saying something about penguins are unusual birds. And then you could state why, because you want your reader to understand what you're talking about. Because that is the main topic of your paragraph. And then you're going to write the details. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you understand the task. If you have a question, give me a hand. So I have no, what is your question? No questions? Okay, and let's remember, you're only writing the details that we learned in the book. Some of us know other details outside of the book because we know about penguins or we've read about penguins or we've watched penguins. You're only talking about the details from the book. So your notes, what you remember, what's on our anchor chart. Okay? Do you have a question? Okay, but was that in the book? So we don't need to talk about that because that's not a detail in the book. Okay, thanks. Yes. This? That just says key details. That's just telling us the details. We got our main idea and then our performance task. Because these are the notes that you wrote the first day. You need to write a new clean page. A new clean page. Thank you very much, Carlos. Thank you, Samaria. And Hector.
Write a main detail about penguins.
You are writing how penguins are unusual birds. You may use your notes, you may use the anchor chart, but you must see it. Okay, raise your hand, please. Look at your period, or sorry, your capital letter. If you put your hands down, I want you to get with a partner. Now, if you're seated at desk, then you just go to the person next to you. You two, you two, you two. You three can do it. Actually, Brian and Cameron here, you two, and then Zyrie and Donovan. Go ahead, listen carefully to what I'm going to say. Take your writing. Go read it to your partner. Now that means that your partner is listening while you're reading. And then your partner's going to read theirs to you. Okay? So instead of just a couple of us sharing, because I know we always want to share, you're going to all get to share. Okay? So turn to your neighbor. You're going to read to them first, and then they will read to you.
What it says?
You wrote it. What does it say? Penguins?
Hold the eggs.
On. Uh-huh.
What does it say?
On. But you have the T over here, and it should be over here. Move the T there. There you go. Awesome